Okay, welcome back for another week. We're now at lesson 15, and now we get to find out the purpose of two more principal parts, namely principal part 4 and principal part 5, which are for the perfect tense, respectively. Principal part 4 gives us the active perfect. Principal part 5 gives us both the middle and the passive. In perfect tense, the middle and the passive are ambiguous. So we've already seen that certain tenses have that feature where the middle and the passive are ambiguous. Present tense was like that. The imperfect tense was like that. Okay, now the future tense is not like that. The future tense has a distinctive middle and passive forms. The aorist tense also, as we will see, has distinctive middle and passive forms. But for the present, the imperfect, and the perfect, the principal, middle and passive are the same. Okay, in the perfect, the case of the perfect, it's found in the fifth principal part. Okay, now the beauty of this lesson at all is that if you've really been jamming in your principal parts, you will find this fairly easy and straightforward. These vocabulary words are in fact not new words at all, but in fact are just extensions, developments, or verbal morphology of existing words which you should already know. Okay, so again, you see the beauty of knowing these principal parts well. You can handle all this in stride, which is exactly why I had you learn these earlier. Okay, so what is the perfect tense, though? What does it actually do for us? Well, remember what we said about tense in general in Greek. Okay, tense, one of the misfortunes of Greek is that Greek was largely kind of codified in terms of modern scholarship by Latin grammarians. Okay, and Latin had a keen sense of time value with tense, but it wasn't fully appreciated when the terms were beginning to be developed that time value was not really the essential thing with tense so much as it is aspect. Okay, in the Greek language. Okay, now we've seen that before with present and imperfect, not so much talking about a certain time value of the action, but rather the kind of action that it takes. Okay, very often it will be in the present, but really the essence of present tense is ongoing action. The essence of aorist tense is what? Simple action. Okay, not necessarily action that takes place in the past, but really action that doesn't really involve the sense of ongoing. Okay, the sense of coming, the sense of going, the sense of talking, the sense of eating, but more just a simple sense of talk, eat, fly, run, drive. Okay, that's the aorist. Now, what's the perfect? How does that fit in? Well, the perfect also is primarily a sense of aspect, okay, a sense of a kind of action rather than the time. A perfect is really not about past time, okay? Nor does a perfect have exactly the sense of completed action, although that gets closer to the sense of it. A perfect is really more a present state of affairs, a present condition that derives from past action. Okay, it's a present state of affairs that derives from past action. How does this work? Well, you kind of actually can see this in English. What's the difference between saying I came and I have come? Okay, when would you say I came and when would you say I have come? They're not exactly the same thing if you think about it. Okay, you would not say I came to describe just newly being arrived. Okay, you would say I came to discuss completed action in the past. Okay, you would say I have come where? What are you really saying when you say I have come? You're saying basically I'm here right now. Okay, I'm here right now, having just arrived, having just come from somewhere else, wherever it was I came from. Okay, it's more of a present state of affairs that really is sort of the flowering of the action which began in the past. Okay, whereas I came is simply a reference point, more of a factual statement about the past. Okay, so students tend to conflate perfect and past tense when they really don't mean the same thing at all. Okay, the different sense. Another good example, what's the difference between saying I ate breakfast and I have eaten breakfast? Okay, I ate breakfast would do what? That simply hits to the fact of a story you're telling about some morning in the past. Okay, that's more just a factual statement about then. But saying I've eaten breakfast means what? That I'm in the present state now of having eaten. Okay, you're really making a statement about the condition you're in right now than you are a statement about what you just did. Okay, although the two are related. The condition is obviously the full flowering of the action in which this has taken place. Okay, so perfect has that sense of the present state of affairs. Okay, now I emphasize this because students tend to conflate the aorist tense, which is normally speaking in the Bible the storytelling tense, and the perfect tense, which is not the storytelling tense, the normal storytelling tense, but rather the perfect tense is used to get across the sort of present reality, the present realization of things. Okay, based on what's happened in the very recent past. Okay, so perfect is present stative. Okay, so let's take a look at this. How does this actually enter into the discussion here? Well, you have this really, really important expression, kingdom of God. Okay, you see it in Mark's gospel, you see it in Luke, you see it in Matthew. Very often you see the statement engiken. Okay, engidzo. The word engidzo means to draw near, to approach. Okay. It's very interesting that the statement engiken he basileia tou theou. In other words, the kingdom of God has done what? Has engiken, has engidzoed. Okay, it's in the state of having drawn near. Okay, but what does that mean? Okay, at some level, you kind of need to appreciate the grammar to be able to get your mind around the issue here. Does it mean that the kingdom is close to us now? Having come from afar, now it's close to us. Does it sort of have the sense of, is it just sort of beginning to break in now, but not fully here yet? Is it more in the sense that it's here right now? It's sort of upon us right now, having just sort of crossed the threshold. You'll see different translations. The kingdom of God is near. The kingdom of God has come. The kingdom has arrived, or probably more commonly, the kingdom is at hand. That sort of emphasizes both the idea that it's beginning to come but isn't fully here yet. Okay, you begin to get now more deeply into the New Testament here by reading it in Greek and beginning to get into more the theology of what's going on. Okay, which has to pass through the grammar of the language and the Bible itself. Okay, so you now can enter the eschatology debate now knowing a little bit about what the perfect tense does and doesn't do. Okay, it doesn't totally solve the question for us, but at least it sort of frames the issue. So now we actually see a little bit of the problem here to sort of wrestle with, to get our mind around. Okay, we begin to see other forms here in the perfect as well. I'm going to leave you to these other forms yourself for you to wrestle with, and you can learn those on your own time. And I will stop there, and I will see you all in the homework.